everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where today we got all the latest Blue Jays news and rumors and MLB updates for y'all on this beautiful Friday live stream. As if you're new here, it's the wine on wine, baby. I got the wine going. I know Nick doesn't have the wine going right now, but coffee works. But guys, if you guys are drinking, let us know what you having on this beautiful Friday evening as we talk all baseball, all news. Cody Bellinger, what are the latest updates on him? Justin Verlander, he's got some updates that I've got a really spicy take on that regarding the Toronto Blue Jays and other Blue Jays news and MLB news. What's up? I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog. And that's right, folks. We got a lot to talk about today. I know it's Thanksgiving. Shout out and thank you to all of those Thanksgiving folks over in America. Alright, we're not celebrating over here. We did that a month earlier, but I hope that you guys enjoyed your turkeys. That doesn't mean that baseball's all quiet, though. There is still stuff, there is still rumblings, there is still rumors going on. Cody Bellinger, earlier this week, was talked about as signing maybe even this Thursday or this Friday. Like today.
Yeah, literally.
Apparently, that has not gone down. That has not happened here, folks. So, some of those non-blue check-marked individuals, can you believe it or not, they weren't reputable. Just like we said, they probably weren't reputable.
No.
But it does seem to be kind of the consensus around baseball right now that his signing is going to be imminent. You know, it didn't happen today. I mean, still, a few hours left to go, so who knows, knock on wood. But it's very possible to happen, maybe this weekend, maybe this coming week.
Yeah, if I were to throw my 2 cents in here, it's well, I think the Blue Jays were the first people. I'm not going to deny that. We had actual reputable sources like John Morosi saying, Blue Jays were in, heavy on Bellinger. But I think what that created was oh, crap, if I'm Bellinger, I'm not going to take the first offer right away.
No.
I gotta wait a little bit. And so now he's been waiting, and other teams are now starting to get into the mix.
100%.
We got an article right up here, folks, that says that 11 teams are going to be in on are in on Cody Bellinger right now, according to John Morrison. Just make sure y'all are seeing this. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So 11 teams.
There's a lot of teams, guys. There is literally 1/3 of MLB right there.
Literally
in on Cody Bellinger. And I'll be honest, folks, I'm a little bit shocked to hear that there are 11 other teams pursuing Cody Bellinger. I guess, this doesn't go into the extent of, how much are they pursuing? Is quote-unquote pursuing, we picked up the phone and we asked, what's your price? And then we heard about it and we, hung up and that was that.
Exactly.
Or is pursuing, we're really in on this thing. We're trying to sign Cody Bellinger to our ball club. It's really interesting.
Yeah, right here off the headline, Cubs, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me why they'd be going after him. I think Cubs might be a little bit bigger competitor than most teams.
100%.
They're that fringe team where it's okay, if you'd make a couple good moves, you could turn your team around pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the Astros are interesting to me. They don't need a Cody Bellinger. Why would you need a Cody Bellinger? Your team's already so amazing. Why would you pay all that money for a guy who's just a coin flip? But they're losing Michael Brantley.
Yeah.
That'd be a good left-handed bat replacement in the outfield.
I think that's what it is for the Houston Astros.
And the defense.
And I have thoughts on the Cubs in a second, which I'm going to get to.
Yeah,
but from
please.
a Houston Astros standpoint, that's exactly what it is, right? Because the Astros are so good that even if he flops, it actually doesn't matter.
Right.
But if he does hit, then holy shit, mother! we're gonna go back to back. We are going back to back if he does actually hit.
Oh god, that lineup.
Whereas with the Blue Jays, speaking from a Blue Jays standpoint, if Cody Bellinger flops, that's a big swing for us to go from Teoscar Hernandez to Cody Bellinger.
Right.
You're flopping, that could be the difference from making playoffs and not making playoffs. But Astros, you will make playoffs regardless. You could make even more.
Whereas Astros, it's you're going from Michael Brantley to Bellinger, which isn't that big of a swing. We're losing a silver slugger. They're losing Michael Brantley, who's aging.
Exactly.
Okay?
And we're just talking about floor right now.
Yeah.
If Cody Bellinger does hit his ceiling, then that Astros lineup is, potentially the best in baseball, which you could already make an argument that it is. Now, from the Cubs standpoint here, they are a team that I'm absolutely concerned about, worried about, competing with the Toronto Blue Jays here with Cody Bellinger. They apparently, I was reading some headlines, some articles, that they're in on the Brandon Nimmo sweepstakes as well. So they're a squad that, like you said, they feel, hey, maybe we're a year, maybe we're 2 years away from, getting back into that mix. A few things swing our way. Maybe a few, injuries or regression happens in our other teams in our division.
Yeah.
We're right back in this thing. fuck it, let's go out and get our dudes.
Dude, that NL Central is pretty open, rather other than like the Cardinals, in my opinion. Like Brewers are like hit or miss in some years, but like you could probably compete for a wild card if you make the right moves.
Totally.
If you make the right moves.
And if you're Chicago right now, you're listening to all these other rumors going around about maybe Milwaukee selling. If Milwaukee's selling Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff, like, hello, there is no clear second team in that division anymore. You could be that squad.
Right. And well, last team on this list, what do you think about the San Francisco Giants? Because what I think, I'm like, that makes sense too. They're, again, on that fringe. Like, if they make a couple big moves, especially if they get Aaron Judge, oh my God. They get Aaron Judge to get a pitcher. Now, they are losing Rodon, so they need to fill that hole a little bit. But again, like, last year felt like a very big disappointment for the San Francisco Giants. Like, I feel like they could need someone like Cody Bellinger to hit, pop off. That would be really good for them.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So a lot of these teams are making sense, but again, I am a little bit shocked here that there are 11 other squads. Now, from what we've heard, the Blue Jays are still favorited. We are still the number one squad right now. Apparently, we got there first. We talked to them first. And a lot of people are looking at us like, we are going to be the guys. We have a non-blue checkmark individual
We have to show this, guys. We have to show this. Take this as you will.
Yeah.
This isn't credible.
No, it's literally like not at all. Chapman RBW here.
We're not trying to isolate Chapman RBW right now with the recycling emoji.
Yeah.
We've got
got a Houston Astros.
Houston Astros.
But he's also...
Congratulations for the Toronto Blue Jays.
I don't know who you are or what you're doing.
And you got... again, I'm just saying, make your judgments on the reputability.
Big breaking news here from Chapman RBW.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But they're saying, the Blue Jays have made progress on the Cody Bellinger front. Deal is close. That was a few hours ago, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, that was yesterday.
Big
Excuse
source,
me.
Lightning McQueen, had something to say about it. Listen, guys, this is definitely not reputable, even in the slightest, and I don't think that Chapman RBW has any sources of any kind, to be honest. But there is something to be said for the fact that Twitter seems to have a million different of these accounts right now.
It's the Elon Musk effect. Literally. Everybody's a journalist now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, everybody is saying that sort of thing. So when everybody's saying it, when there's smoke, there's fire. I do truly believe that Toronto is the squad right now that is still going after Cody Bellinger.
That's what we know.
And I think, honestly, this just goes to show that these rumors are intensifying, just like the title says. There are 11 other squads right now who are looking at Cody Bellinger, eyeing him up, sizing him, and trying to picture him in their lineup, hitting 47 home runs again and winning another MVP. We're going to have to outbid those other
That's exactly
squads.
what I was going to say. If there's 11 other teams, you know that the whole rumor of, $16 million for 2 years ain't gonna cut it anymore.
No, I don't believe it.
They ain't gonna cut it.
I don't believe it.
It's gonna be a freaking package for 1 year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a payday city, which is ridiculous for a guy who's been MVP in 2019 and then's been literally Bradley Zimmer ever since.
Yeah.
What? Okay, we said it before in other podcasts. What are we as Toronto Blue Jays willing to drop out? When's the price too high? And it's okay, this makes not a lot of sense. Let's go get somebody else.
Well, I think, honestly, for the Blue Jays, it does depend who else is available on the market. Right now, it's easy to drop out.
Because there's Nimmo.
It's easy to drop
there's
out.
Michael Brantley.
Because there's Nimmo. Because there's rumors, maybe we'll get to this in a second, but there's rumors about Brian Reynolds potentially being a name that's going around right now. These are options and opportunities that the Blue Jays can explore to fulfill that left-handed hitting outfield need, right? If some of those guys start dropping, if Nimmo signs back to the Mets, if the Pirates come out and say, we are absolutely not trading Brian Reynolds, if some of these things start to go down, if the Cardinals are like, Newt Bar, off the table, right? It's like all of these doors and pathways are starting to close, then our price for what we are willing to pay Cody Bellinger, I think it slowly starts to rise.
Yeah. And that's why I think it's really quiet right now. I mean, all the qualifying offers happen. Everything happened. We're the 40-man roster. The whole Rule 5 draft's coming up. I think that, it's going to be quiet for a little bit, honestly, folks. I think it's going to be quiet until, December, January. Honestly, because, you have to wait for one move to be made.
Right.
And then it's a domino effect from here on out, folks.
Yeah,
so stay patient.
I'm feeling like the Toronto Blue Jays, maybe we walked into this Bellinger thing thinking to ourselves, hey, he was Bradley Zimmer. He was Bradley Zimmer. He's going a little underrated.
Let's get him right now.
Maybe we can sneak a fastball by him here because people have been sneaking fastball by him
Bradley
for
Zimmer.
3 years.
Absolutely.
And maybe we can sign him to something while nobody's looking. Just get him on a thing. He said no, no, no. Scott Boras said no, no, no. And now all these other teams are in the mix, and now you're in a position that you didn't want to be in. And a guy like Cody Bellinger is getting more hype right now than other dudes in the league, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at this Formula NASCAR guy saying this one guy tweeted something that seems somewhat credible.
Oh, I actually did. I was looking at this guy earlier today. Yes, I was looking at this guy earlier today. So he's got something up there.
Is it up here?
So, source: Tyler Faber has received the Oh no.
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 I think it was right here. I saw it. No. Where is it? No, he's talking about himself right now.
Yeah, why the fuck are you like talking about yourself in the third person right now, dude? Like, this is like way too much.
Oh, here it is. Okay, well, obviously it's not credible because this happened 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Expected to sign with the Jays tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think that you need the death penalty, dude. But yeah, like you're clearly wrong.
Yeah, that's
also
not correct.
135 people watching this stream right now, guys. If you haven't already done so, hit the like, smash the subscribe button, guys. We recently hit 10K. We do want to get to 11K by Christmas, by the new year. That's the goal, guys. So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And this is the Q&A. So hit us with your questions.
Yeah.
We will hit you back with those answers.
Yeah.
Let's transition a little bit here. That was the Bellinger talk going on there. So a lot of squads that we got to look out for, folks. Hopefully some more news breaks on that shortly. Some interesting stuff going on with JV. If you hop onto Twitter right now, you will see in sports, under trending, Justin Verlander's name is up right now, and that's because some news came out here from an account that I'd actually never heard of. But apparently they know what they're talking about here.
They're a Houston. Okay, they're a Houston culture conversation. Okay.
Houston guys knowing stuff about Houston. They've come out and said basically, Justin Verlander said it all comes down to money.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. It all comes down to money. He just wants to get paid.
Well, I wanted to reference this article right here because first, I got an opinion to say after this, but like this will help me here.
Yeah.
The New York Mets are obviously going to be a top contender in that. If it's involving money, New York Mets, Cohen, he doesn't give a shit.
No.
He's going to pump the money. Yankees, we all know they're going to be obviously in there.
Yeah.
Dodgers, obviously in there, right? Those are going to be the big guys going for someone like a Justin Verlander.
It's always those three, man.
Always.
That's the new three.
This is the new three.
Exactly.
Just be those two.
Exactly. Now the Mets, once they got their new owner, I didn't realize at the time when Steve Cohen came in here, like how much of a change this would literally make.
Isn't he a billionaire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like it changed everything, and he's one of those guys where it's like I have billions of dollars, like I'm just like playing life like it's a video game right now, and I'm just gonna like do my favorite sport and buy whoever I want. He's literally playing franchise mode, MLB The Show.
Oh, that's what I want.
He's doing.
You said to me the other day, it's like, man, if I was rich, like I wouldn't buy Twitter, I'd buy a sports team.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's what he did.
He's playing franchise mode,
and he's like, fuck it, I like Justin Verlander. He's got 99 fastball command.
I
want him on my team.
Infinite money. Here we go.
Literally.
Love it.
So obviously they're in on it. New York's in on it. LA's in on it. We got some long shots here.
Yeah, and the Texas Rangers, like I've been bringing up all offseason, like they're a team that's going to do exactly what they did last year. Sign the Semien, sign the oh my god, what's the other shortstop's name? Cody Seager. Corey Seager. Yeah, they need another pitcher. Like Justin Verlander is the man to get. And then Cardinals, they need some pitching. That makes sense. I mean, that absolutely would be in the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
But then you notice there's no Blue Jays. And here's my thing, man. Like, I just don't think that we're going to be in this. If it's going to be all about money, if that's what matters, which at the end of the day, like that's what it should be for someone like Justin Verlander.
Yeah.
You're trying to cash in. Like, we're not going to be in there because he's probably going to. There's rumors he might get $100 million for 2 years.
I heard that there was
$50 million per year. No way do the Toronto Blue Jays do that. There's just no way.
Right.
There's not look. I know we're talking about like, are they going to spend this year? Are they going to go over the luxury tax? For the first time they go over the luxury tax, they're not going to spend $50 million over the luxury tax.
Smash it.
That would smash the luxury tax.
It,
And how do you get back under?
Yeah.
If you sign him for 2 years, which is probably what he's going to want. Like, not possible.
I'll be honest, guys. Like, if there actually was like $50 million for 2 years, I actually don't think I would be comfortable with that deal.
No.
I don't.
What
think
if he
I'd be
gets hurt?
That's what
if he declines?
That's what I mean. It's like, at the end of the day, like, yes, he was amazing this past year. Do not get me wrong. I don't want to take anything away from what he did.
One Cy Young.
But, like, the dude is literally, like, going to be turning 40 years old.
Yeah.
He's going to be turning 40 years old right now. He would be coming to a new ball club with new coaches at 40. He just got the biggest payday of his life ever. Is the motivation gone? Like, is the body gone, right? Like, there's just so many question marks in that where it's like, if you do get hurt or if you do, like, care a little bit less because, like...
Well, I mean, he's already made the Hall of Fame.
Right?
Like, you know, he's already guaranteed.
Like, we're screwed. You know, it's like, he could straight up buy, like, 3 quality players for the price of you.
And that's why we're out, man. Like, we have to be efficient with our money. We need bullpen. We need an outfielder. Like, we need a starting pitcher for me is, like, the second. Like, obviously, I think getting an outfielder right now is pretty important. But, like, you know, starting pitcher's right there, but does it have to be the ace?
Right.
The ace of the free agency, DeGrom, him, and whatever, right? Like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. You could go get Carlos Rodon and an outfielder for the same price.
Totally.
You know, and have Carlos Rodon for longer. Like, it makes
Which I would absolutely prefer.
Right, and it makes no sense to be on JV if that's the price. If he wants $100 million for $100 million for 2 years, we are out. Yeah. I don't see a reality where we get him now.
I also truly believe, guys, and this is just speculation on my part. I do not know Justin Verlander personally. I don't claim to know him or anything like that. But you've seen time and time again the whole "it's all about money" thing. A lot of times that is kind of like a bargaining thing from the players. They come out and say that. Just like personal experience here, like. I'm like my favorite football team, our greatest wide receiver, Devontae Adams, said it was all about money.
Yeah.
It ended up not being all about money, you know? Yeah. But he still got paid because he said it was all about money. Yeah, so I you know, there is probably some biases there from Justin Verlander. If Texas offers him $5 more million than LA, does he still go to Texas? Like, probably not.
Whereas, like, Toronto, like, we have a good ball team, but I really don't see him relocating to a new country. That's always been our biggest Achilles heel for free agents. Like, I got to relocate to an entirely new country.
Yes.
Like, you know, entirely new law system, whatever, like taxes, like everything. It's like, no, like, he's not going to do that in his retirement years. Like, that's just not, we're not getting Justin Verlander.
Not to mention, too, just, like, on a geographical standpoint, Houston to Toronto is, like, one of the furthest away that you could be. Like, it is pretty fucking far away, so.
Now, granted, he did play for the Tigers, but he never really had a choice. He was coming up, and then he went over to
they draft him, you know, like, that is just what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, like, we're probably out on Verlander, guys, but honestly, like, that might not be a bad thing, because just looking at the guys on the market, I was always a Carlos Rodon first, dude. I was always a Carlos Rodon first guy. Like, if it's possible to get into that Carlos Rodon sort of conversation, and we've been rumored a little bit, like, we're not one of the top contenders right now. We've been rumored a tiny bit. But if we can sort of, like, enter in, you know, like, slide into those DMs, that's something that I'd be much more interested in.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I just got a little comment here from Kauv. I don't know if you said Kauv. He's saying Passan, so I went and checked out Passan. Looks like we had a little bit of news literally a minute ago. First baseman Carlos Santana and the Pittsburgh Pirates are in agreement on a 1-year, $6.7 million contract, pending physical. Source familiar with ESPN Telenews. So, I mean, at least the guy who killed us in the postseason won't be with the Mariners next year.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Good for the Pirates. Like, this is, guys, this is the epitome of reaching to the bottom of the barrel and just scraping it away, you know? Like, we're just gonna, like, scrape all that crap off and see what we can turn it into.
Look, here, we're talking about big names, and of course we're in all these big names, but Pirates... Why wait for the big names? No big names are coming to you unless you're offering an absolute bag.
Yeah.
Go get a Carlos Santana.
For real.
Wow, okay, this is kind of off topic. I don't want to spend too much time on the Pirates because no one gives a crap. Sorry, Pirates fans. But what do you think about the Pirates like for the next 5 years? Are they or at least not about the next 3 years?
No,
they're nothing.
Nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you need a big breakout of multiple different breakouts. Like, yes, you have some good guys there. Like O'Neal Cruz, like, looks like he could be a dude.
Right.
You know,
he hits the ball hard, but can he hit for average?
That's the thing.
You know?
Like, he's got to get more consistent. Obviously, like, I truly don't believe why they have not traded away Brian Reynolds. I do think that we should be in on that.
Oh my God,
and you know what? Frankly, like, maybe this is a good switch because there was a great Sportsnet article here talking about that trade with Brian Reynolds and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah, if we just look up like Toronto Blue Jays news right now, it should pop up. It was something that I was looking at a little bit earlier. Yeah, right there, first one.
Wow.
So, outfield trade targets Blue Jays could consider in wake of Hernandez departure. Now, we've been discussing this, guys. We posted a few different videos now, kind of going through different trade scenarios. You guys have given your opinions. You posted a few different hot takes, a video that I'm going to make tomorrow, actually, like talking about different trade scenarios that you guys could see. It's great. I love it. A guy that we've been linked to for 2+ seasons now. Like, literally, longer than we've been doing this podcast. We've been doing this podcast for a time. Is Brian freaking Reynolds. A dude who's been consistent, who's been good, who does everything that we want him to do.
He's a switch hitter.
Who's 27 years old, who's got years left on his contract, who's got an 842 OPS career. Like, everything that we are looking for in a guy, and he's dying right now on the Pittsburgh Pirates.
But apparently they don't want to trade him. But that's the thing, man.
That's the thing.
So, what are you gonna do about it? Apparently I've said in the past, or they've said in the past, that they want a lot for Brian Reynolds.
Right.
Like, they want to actually get a lot in return for Brian Reynolds. And Brian Reynolds is a good guy, like you're saying, but is he worth like a big haul?
Okay, well, what is it? Because I never actually read this Sportsnet article. What is it that they propose here? I imagine that there's got to be probably
Brian Reynolds, 3 years of control.
3 years of control, guys.
Great.
That is like, oof, I am loving that. Okay, then they go on to Ian
other
Happ and a
people.
bunch of other people.
La la la.
But I guess, did they not propose anything there?
Did they not propose anything?
Fuck it. Well, we're here, guys. This is the live stream.
Let's do it.
We got Trade Simulator, baby. This is when we pull it out and we start talking nonsense.
What will it take? I feel like
what is it gonna take?
When we first started this podcast and we were doing Trade Simulators, I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then as I go on, I'm like, it's ridiculous.
It can get a little ridiculous for sure, and I definitely disagree with some of its values, but I think it's a good, like, just kind of starting place just to see and, like, to put the names next to each other and look at it.
Yeah.
So, guys, propose a little bit of trades going here for Brian Reynolds. This is a guy, obviously, the Blue Jays have been linked to in the past. We're still linked to right now. Sportsnet's talking about how he could be our top trade target, as I do think he should be. What should we trade for him? 166 people in here right now. Please hit the subscribe button, guys.
Yeah.
We would love it if you guys come and join the community with us. Promise you guys, we post every day. We just hit over 10,000 subscribers. We're looking to get to 11,000 by the end of the year.
Oh
folks.
my God, Reynolds is a lot. that would make sense why he's a lot.
Yeah, he would be a lot. No kidding.
All right, well, this is Gabriel Moreno territory for me. This would be Gabriel Moreno territory for sure. That's it for me. Gabriel Moreno, he's a 53.7, still not enough. Still not enough. Let's build a trade together, but for me, that's a big, I'm pitching it to you guys. Gabriel Moreno needs to be in this deal. Kirk could be an option, but I don't want to trade Kirk.
Right.
Jansen's an option, but we need to trade more. That's a problem. If you trade Jansen, you can't make it up with a bunch of crap guys.
No.
You
I don't think that you can trade Jansen in this deal. And you got to think, too, like, from the Pittsburgh Pirates standpoint, like, sure, Jansen's good, but I feel like Jansen's one of those players that you trade to a team where it's like, well, like, we could compete. We could be okay.
Exactly.
You know, it's like
where they need a Moreno. They need someone for a long time.
They want a Gabriel Moreno. They want an Alejandro Kirk, right? Like, you want a guy that can grow up and can be part of that squad with the O'Neal Cruz.
Right.
With the who's that fucking third baseman that they signed forever?
Hayes.
Like Hayes, Brian Hayes, right? Like, that's what they're looking for, right? So they definitely want to have a Gabriel Moreno or somebody coming back. Do we trade Gabriel Moreno for Brian Reynolds in a deal like this? Would that even get it done? It wouldn't even get it done.
No, it wouldn't get it done. And Mantis saying, holy overpays, please stop. He's not that good. Pirates aren't trading him. And honestly, when I think about Brian, Brian Reynolds is good. But I don't know. For me, I don't know if I want to spend my piece, like the big trading piece, Moreno, clearly has the most value according to TradeValues.com, on Brian Reynolds. Yes, we have 3 years, and he's going to be good. He's going to be
great,
good.
dude. He will be very good.
He's going to be good.
Like, if you look at that career slash line,
that's pretty
that's
good.
everything I want in a player.
Pretty good.
Great average, great on base, good like everything is there.
And he's saying he's not that good. I mean, dude, he's pretty good.
He is pretty elite.
He is 302 in 2021 with a 912 OPS, bro.
Like, he's got the ceiling of a ceiling of TO, maybe even higher.
Switch hitter.
And he's got a really good floor too.
Switch hitter too. Okay. Let's ask the real question. What are his splits from the left side? Let's ask the real questions.
Do they even have that information?
Yeah,
they better have that info.
Versus right-handed pitchers as a lefty, he hits. He has an 856 OPS as a lefty.
Hard to argue with that.
Wow.
Hard to argue with that.
Wow.
So like that's basically as good. Yeah. So he's great. He's absolutely phenomenal. So let me pitch it to you then. Like, if we were, I think I would be okay with a deal like this if we did something else. So if we were to trade a Gabriel Moreno for a Brian Reynolds,
1 for 1.
if
but
that
we
was
need probably add on.
We gotta add.
Else.
So like, let's just say it's a Gabriel Moreno and it's a few other prospects. It's Martinez or like whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are the T's. Like, we're sending that. That's our thing. What else needs to happen for you to make that deal okay? Because I know what needs to happen for me.
I need to sign a starting pitcher. I need to sign Carlos Rodon. Like, now we've been
me too.
We've been talking about how much money we have, or like hinting towards how much money is not a problem.
Yeah.
And then you go get Brian Reynolds, you add him to the team, you use your big trade piece, you got him now. Now it's like, I have all this capital to dump into an elite ace.
Yeah.
If you get Rodon, you pair him up with Manoah, you pair him up with Gosman, you got Burrios, who in my opinion, could still bounce back.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not like he's dead. Like, he's still, 28.
Exactly.
It's like he could still find it again.
But as your 4, a guy was upside to be a 2.
Totally.
Like, great. And then you got like Mitch White, like fucking Kikuchi, whatever. Who cares?
Whoever's hot at that period of time.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that to me is what we need to do. And I'm operating this offseason now. The second that we were in on those Brandon Nimmo conversations, and there's actually a great article that I want to pull up next, which kind of talks about a Brandon Nimmo, what a deal could look like there. And it's a video that I'm going to make pretty soon. But the second that we were in on those Brandon Nimmo conversations, that tells me that these Toronto Blue Jays, we are willing to spend $140 million this offseason.
$140 million?
Potentially. Total.
Okay, not per year.
No.
I was like,
not per year. But it's like you could spend that on a player. And when we were entering this offseason, I was like, there's not going to be any George Springers. There's not going to be anything like that. That is a George Springer.
Yeah,
that's a George Springer now. That is a Kevin Gausman, right? Like, we are in that conversation. So I think that we can go out and trade for Brian Reynolds if we also spend that 140 on a Carlos Rodon.
Okay, so I want to comment on something here, and I agree with you saying, what Chris is saying, too much money in the rotation already. Before we answer this, I want to talk about that. Shout out to Tampa Lions with a $19.99 donation. Let's go. Saying, guys, I'm joining late. Any news yet? Jansen traded Bellinger sign. I'll hang up and listen. Thanks. Thank you, first of all, for the donation, bro. But no, nothing yet, man. It feels like it's on, the whole offseason on ice right now. I think conversations are happening, but we gotta wait for some legitimate pushes.
Maybe we can get to the whole Jansen trade rumors in a bit. We did post a podcast yesterday, guys, so if you haven't already checked that out, make sure to do that. But we can definitely kind of go over that one more time.
Absolutely. But Chris saying that there's too much money in the rotation. I've thought about this too. I'm like, oh, too much money in the rotation. But does that actually matter to you? That there's money in the rotation?
I mean, I think that if you really were to build a baseball team and you were to tell me we invested most of our money in the rotation, I'd say that you're doing it properly. Because at the end of the day, pitching wins championships. Now, you need to be smart about this, right? Like, you can't be getting the Yusei Kikuchis of the world and having them flop, right? And we just need to really cross our fingers here that Jose Burrios does, in fact, bounce back. He can't be a 5 ERA guy for the next decade. That's going to suck, right?
Yeah, that would suck.
So I think that you can absolutely invest as much money in the rotation as you want. You just need to make sure that they actually turn out. And maybe that's because Pete Walker isn't as good as we thought that he was going to be. Maybe we need to start investing money in getting a better pitching coach, right? Like, is that the problem?
Okay, can I just quickly, I want to hear what people say in the chat. Do you think Pete Walker is a good pitching coach? Now, like, think about this. Like, actually think about this. The reason why I say not really compared to the rest of the MLB is you just got to look at our team's ERA over the last decade,
right?
Where we've had Pete Walker.
Yeah.
What do you think? You guys let me know. I'm curious. I'm just curious.
Yeah, exactly. Because that is a long enough sample size where it's like, yes, like you've had players that are good, you've had players that are bad.
Yeah.
That's a long enough sample size to be like, okay, well, we've been below average the whole time.
We've been below average the entire time.
So it's just like, I get it. Like, sure, there's been years where there's not that much talent, but there has been years of talent. So you got to do better than that.
Dude, Zeke is saying, like, yeah, Pete Walker is mid. He's mid at best.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I do agree there, guys. So, like, I'm totally cool with investing money into that rotation. We just need to make sure that they actually turn out. Can we take a quick look here? And I forget exactly what the article was called, but just look up, like, Brandon Nimmo Blue Jays or something like that.
Like news.
Yeah. Brandon Nimmo news. Brandon Nimmo Blue Jays, potentially. Like, yeah, because I definitely saw this, and it was a bunch of analysts basically predicting where he's going to go and how much money he is going to cost. See if I can find it on Twitter, potentially.
Yeah. No worries. But yeah, a lot of you guys are kind of 50-50 split. I think, honestly, guys, I think the media talks about him, like Sportsnet talks about him a lot, being like, oh, yeah, like, Pete Walker does all this stuff, and, like, Pete Walker. But, like, where are the results? You know, like, yeah. People might say, like, oh, you got Manoah to be good. I think Manoah was good regardless of Pete Walker. Like, I straight up think Manoah was good before Pete Walker even came in the picture. So that I'm not blaming that. I'm not giving him that. People say, oh, Robbie Ray. I give you that. Robbie Ray. People say Marco Estrada. I'll give you that. Marco Estrada. That's two guys in the last 7 years who became elite. You know, I want my whole team to be elite. You know, I don't want two guys. Right now, that just looks like lucky. You just got lucky. I don't know. I don't know anything about pitching coaching, but the results don't show for me. You find it there at all?
I'm looking still, yeah. Sorry, guys. Give me just one moment here.
No problem. Mets face new. I'm going to try to find something for y'all here. Yeah, we already knew. Okay, so this was actually today. MLB rumors, Brandon Nimmo drawing interest from Blue Jays, Rays more in free agency. So we are going...
Oh, I did hear about the Rays now.
Yeah, okay. What the hell are the Rays doing in this? That makes no... Rays aren't going to be in here. We can outbit the Rays. We can't outbit the Dodgers. We can't outbit the Yankees. We can't outbit the fucking Mets. We can outbit the Rays. That's for sure. That's 100%. Oh, and also, shout out to the 100th like. Shout out to Stellar HD.
Shout out to Stellar HD.
Let's go. But yeah, like, what do you think about that, man? Like, according to John Heyman, the Mets would like to retain Nimmo, of course, like they would, but they would have to beat out several other teams interested in keeping him on the fold. Man, how many times have we just, like, totally screwed over the Mets and trying to take their guys? You know?
Well, they've also done it to us, too, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I remember at the time we were like, Frankie Lindor, I don't know if we want him. Like, I don't know. I could have liked Frankie Lindor.
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
In hindsight, it's like,
right?
damn, that
they
could have
take
been good.
Lindor. We take, Springer. You know.
Yeah.
But I felt like we've also took Gosman. I think that's it.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't really
the thing,
know
though.
what
It's
else,
like,
yeah.
like, really, like, they have won most of the battles here, right?
Yeah,
They also
yeah.
got Taiwan Walker from us.
Taiwan Walker,
You know, it's like, there's
yeah,
definitely guys
yeah,
that they
yeah.
have taken from us. So I could totally see the Mets, and at the end of the day, like, this is their guy.
Yep,
Or it was
yep,
their guy.
yep.
You know, so it's like they're going to want him back. He's done very well with them in the past. They know where he's going to play for them.
Ooh, what about Chris Bassett? Could we get Chris Bassett
It's
from
possible,
him?
dude. It is
I
definitely
could
possible.
definitely be down for Chris Bassett.
He's like an underrated sort of like,
Yeah.
not quite as good as the Carlos Rodons of the world, but still a guy that you would be interested in.
Let me look him up right
Yeah,
here.
for sure. I also did find the article, by the way.
Beautiful.
So like whenever we want to do that.
Yeah. Just want to look at Chris Bassett because I've always thought of him pretty highly, like as like what he is, right? Look, consistent. Look at that last 5 seasons.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna get.
I
He is
mean,
getting older, but you know what you're gonna get. I feel
Totally,
like.
dude. Like, I whenever I look at that, like, I always get hurt from, like, Jose Barrios, because, like, I thought I knew what I was going to get.
Yeah.
But again, like, that is an anomaly. I think
It's an
Jose
anomaly.
Barrios
I think
is
it's an outlier, right?
Yeah, totally. Like, this guy should be good. If you were to get a Chris Bassett on your team, you can expect a 3.5 ERA, lots of innings, quality stuff, right? Like, that is what you should get. Yeah, Josh Goldberg was the guy who tweeted it. He tweeted it 3 days ago. There it is. Yeah, so this was an article that they put together, a bunch of analysts, basically. and they were predicting where the best free agents will go. Shout out to Willard Talkery with a $13.99 donation. Bo and a prospect for Reynolds and Bednar. Interesting. Used the catcher situation to trade for a pitcher, signed Correa Turner for long term, and Vladdy later. World Series competitive. So you just took it to an extra step. Like you went a whole step further than what we were talking about. And I prefer yours better. Do I think it's gonna happen? I don't know, because that's a lot. Like, that's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of moving parts.
That's a lot. That's a whole identity crisis.
But it's right there. Like, if you could trade Bo and a prospect, you get a quality bullpen guy back. You get a Reynolds, which is a really good bat. Then you actually spend your money. You sign a guy like, maybe we don't sign Correa or Turner because they're going to be too expensive. What if you sign like a Dansby Swanson? Dansby Swanson could get paid in the $140 million range.
Definitely.
You know, so you sign a Dansby Swanson. He's a guy. He's your new Bo. He's really good defensively, by the way.
Yeah.
And then you trade for the pitcher with the catcher. And then it's like, bam, bro. Like everything is like working together in tandem. I like it. I like it a lot, Willard.
That's crazy, bro. I love it. I love the craziness. Please keep it coming. But here we go. We got this article right here.
Yeah, so
from Josh.
Big takeaway that I had here was because they had multiple different analysts basically breaking it down. And 3 of them had Nimmo ending up the Blue Jays. And what really stuck out to me was the contracts here. 6 years, 135. 5 years, 120. 6 years, 142. So everybody's thinking that he's going to be in that range of like 120 to 140, 150 million dollars in the 5 to 6 year range.
100%.
They're all predicting Blue Jays, which means that that's basically
we can pay for it.
$130 million here that the Blue Jays are playing with.
Now, if they do that, right, if they go and sign someone like Brandon Nimmo, which I'm totally okay if you also go make a trade for a starting pitcher with one of our catchers and like some of our prospects, whatever. Like I don't even know what pitchers would be on the trade market. That's what scares me, though. What pitchers would be on the trade market? Pablo Lopez ain't on the trade market.
If they're truly not trading Pablo Lopez, then that sucks.
Like, who do we get
after? Like, again, I'm getting more enamored with the Cal Quantrill. If that could be a thing,
if that's a thing,
if that's a thing, like absolutely, like go out, do it.
Like I don't see Cleveland doing that. Like that's their guy.
I get it, but you know, like they have other guys too, right? Like Shane Bieber. Like if they want to hold on to Shane Bieber, maybe they want a little bit more. You know, maybe they do want that catcher. Maybe we can make that swap. Like is
like
that
a Moreno
possible?
type of deal?
Exactly, right? Like that is something that I'm definitely interested in. Pitchers, young ones, they're obviously difficult to come by, folks. Like it's hard to acquire them through trade because nobody wants to trade them, right? Like. I think anybody's knocking on our door asking about Alek Manoah.
100%. But
we're not answering the door at that point.
Exactly.
So it's obviously harder to come by them through trade. That's why I was saying it's like, and we were talking to Jim about this, sign the pitcher and trade for the other shit.
Yeah, it's easy to trade for Brian Reynolds, even though he's off the board, but it's easy to trade for those kind of guys.
Easier, anyways.
Right? Because there's so many of them. There's so many of them. They come up all the time. You know, you hope that they're going to be good, but pitching is hard to come by, like you're saying, man. Like, so this is obviously the more difficult route in going and signing a bat rather than signing the pitching, because you want elite pitching, it's there for you on the market. There's many of them. There's so many of them. Right, so if you're only and also this is just assuming that just because they signed Brandon Nimmo means they're done. They're done. Like they could still.
They could still go crazy and do Nimmo and a Rodon. Which I don't see it happening.
They'll probably go somewhere like an Andrew Heaney.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like they could definitely do that. But the big takeaway here is that $130 million could be going to one player, which does mean that we're probably out on the Trey Turners of the world. But mostly everybody else, minus Trey Turner and DeGrom, like we're gonna be in those conversations.
I think so too.
Right? It's like we will be in those talks. So there's not a single person that's like really on free agency here that the Blue Jays couldn't be part of.
I agree. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Let's say that we will cap it there for you guys watching this later, and maybe we can do a little bit of a Q&A here for those who are watching it live. Maybe play a little Wordle. I've been thinking about the Wordle, guys. If you are watching this on repeat a little bit later, then shout out. Please hit the like and subscribe button, guys, and make sure to turn your notifications on so that you can watch it with us live. Next time, you can ask your questions in the chat. You can do all of that. Thank you so much for watching.
And go Jays, go!